Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're stepping into the quiet, highly sophisticated world of the Private Trust Automobile Documentation Program. Now, right off the bat, I want to clarify that this isn't just about traditional car registration. Not at all. We are embarking on an exploration into the deep, often completely invisible administrative architecture of our modern society. We're looking at an elite, highly strategic framework. It's a calm, intelligent approach to understanding the underlying systems that quietly dictate our everyday lives.
I want you to think about something for a second. Do you truly own your assets, or do you merely control them under someone else's administration? It's a heavy question, right? And it's one that usually triggers an immediate psychological awakening. It challenges us to reconsider all those modern administrative systems, the registries, the filings, the default legal assumptions that most of us just accept entirely on autopilot. We very rarely pause to interrogate our actual relationship with the things we think we own. Well, until now.
Let's start breaking this down with Chapter 1, the illusion of ownership. Look, most of us operate under a standard consumer mindset. We focus on physical possession. There's this automatic assumption that simply holding the keys to a vehicle in your hand equates to ultimate, unassailable ownership. But we have to look beyond the physical object. The invisible legal reality here is the administrative position. It is entirely about controlling the paper trail. Holding the keys honestly means very little if you don't also hold the strategic, documented position over that asset. It's a profound shift in thinking, moving from just being a consumer to acting as a strategic administrator.
There's a line from the source material that sums this up perfectly. Many believe they own assets while never understanding the administrative systems connected to them. Take a second to let that sink in. This is the intellectual realization that really separates the general public from the elite operator. A truly sophisticated individual doesn't just see a physical car. They see the vast web of legal books, certified mail, and registry records permanently attached to it. They see the underlying systems at play.
Which brings us to Chapter 2, the administrative architecture.
Whether we realize it or not, we live inside an invisible matrix of registry books, embossed seals, and administrative files. And navigating it safely requires meticulous strategy. It's a four-step process. Step 1, form the private fiduciary structure. Step 2, file the lawful affidavits and public notices. Step 3, establish a rock-solid position on the public registry. And finally, Step 4, continuous administration. It takes profound systems thinking to construct this level of administrative clarity. You are essentially building a fortress of documented paper trails.
This process is known as the art of layered documentation. It's the strategic stacking of trust instruments, affidavits, and public notices to establish an undeniable private administrative status. Because here's the thing. A clear position isn't simply something you claim out loud. It has to be meticulously constructed. The entire purpose of these elegant, certified documents is to build an absolute foundation. It's a rigorous, layered paper trail that leaves absolutely zero room for presumption.
All right, let's get into the specifics in Chapter 3, the Private Automobile Trust.
When we apply these high-level administrative concepts directly to the automobile, we enter the realm of the private trust. So what is that exactly? It's a fiduciary relationship where an administrative structure holds and manages assets for a beneficiary, completely outside of public commercial presumptions. And that is a crucial distinction. We are not talking about fantasy legal theories or random internet loopholes here. This is a strictly documented, absolutely lawful fiduciary relationship rooted deeply in historical administrative principles.
Now, executing this requires a very precise suite of core instruments. We're talking about fiduciary trust certificates, lawful affidavits, certified public notices, and layered administrative records. Within this sophisticated architecture, private automobile plates serve a highly specific function. They are not an evasion of the law, not at all. Instead, they are a tangible, public-facing marker of a quiet administrative reality. They signify a profound adherence to a strictly private, non-commercial process.
This leads us right into Chapter 4, Public versus Private Capacity.
Understanding this requires a highly specific, systems-thinking distinction. Public commercial operation involves corporate presumptions and doing business within the public sphere. On the flip side, private non-commercial use is strictly about personal capacity and trust administration. And I want to be exceptionally clear here. This framework aggressively distances itself from anti-government or sovereign citizen tropes. It has nothing to do with that. It is purely an educational distinction regarding the fundamental nature of commerce versus private life.
As the program states, operating in a private capacity is a matter of explicit declaration and documentation, not an immunity from reality.
Transitioning from the public to the private sphere is entirely about making a lawful change in your administrative positioning. It never, ever encourages reckless or evasive behavior. In fact, it requires knowing the rules of the system so intimately that you understand exactly how to explicitly document your legal position within it.
And that brings us to our final section, Chapter 5, Responsibility and Lawful Process.
Let's be very real for a second. Sophisticated administrative structures are not shortcuts. They demand intense due diligence and the involvement of qualified legal counsel. The reality of this process is absolute. No documentation can ever guarantee outcomes. This program is offering consulting and educational services, not some kind of magic shield against regulation. Every single step you take must be rooted entirely in a lawful process. It's a path that requires profound personal responsibility.
I absolutely love this quote. Sophistication is not the absence of rules. It is the mastery of responsibility and lawful process. Accepting the absolute necessity of deep responsibility shouldn't be seen as a legal burden. Really, it's the ultimate hallmark of an elite, intelligent operator. Truly strategic, sovereign individuals don't run from responsibility. They master it. They use structured, lawful administration and an unwavering commitment to doing things correctly.
At the end of the day, your documents speak for you. They must be structured, they must be lawful, and they must be absolute. The administrative files you create are literally the voice of your trust in the physical world. Maintaining an impeccable, layered administrative record matters so deeply because, in the eyes of the modern system, you are exactly what your paperwork says you are.
Your records tell a story before you ever even open your mouth. The question we have to leave you with today is, what story are yours telling? If you found this breakdown of the Private Trust Automobile Documentation Program as fascinating as we did, keep exploring the deep architecture of the systems all around you. Thanks for joining us on this Explainer, and we'll see you next time.